It's time to take a new approach to finding true fulfillment in your career, health, and state of mind through insightful conversations with those who have found their professional and personal passions while achieving balance. Whether it's entrepreneurs, athletes, or healthcare professionals, we bring you real people, real growth right here on the Boost Podcast. Now, here's your host, Elena Lipson.
Hello, Boost Squad, and welcome to the first episode of the Boost Podcast. I am so pumped to be kicking off this journey with you guys. I want to start by telling you about my vision for Boost and a little bit about myself. So before we do that, please note that episode 2 is going to commence our weekly interviews with entrepreneurs, athletes, health professionals, and real people like you who share their inspiring stories of professional and personal growth. But before we get started, I would love for you to visit my website, www.theboostpodcast.com. We're running a monthly promotion where one email subscriber is going to receive $50 in cash. So come visit the website and join the Boost Squad. All right, guys, now let's get into it. My vision for Boost is to bring you real stories of professional and personal growth each week to inspire you to find your passion and live your best life, both professionally and personally. Each week, I'm going to interview entrepreneurs, athletes, and health professionals for about 25 or 30 minutes. And these guests are real people who have amazing but relatable stories of growth. We're going to hear from entrepreneurs who are not only going to educate us about their industry, but they're also going to share tips for growing their businesses from the ground up, for overcoming plateaus and downturns, as well as the ever-elusive tactics they use to live a balanced life. We'll also hear from athletes who have pushed themselves to the next level and what inspired their success and how they achieved their goals. Lastly, we're going to chat with healthcare professionals who will share tips and practices that busy professionals and entrepreneurs can use to maintain their health and achieve balance while growing their businesses. This weekly boost of inspiration can accompany you on your walk with your dog, your workout, your commute to work, or really any part of your day. We're going to be releasing 3 episodes per week in January 2017. And then moving to our regular 1 episode per week schedule in February. Each episode is going to follow a fairly consistent format. So I'll start by introducing our guest and asking our guest to educate the Boost Squad on their industry, both in its current state and where they think it's heading. Then we'll shift gears and I'll ask to hear about the guest's story of how they've grown their business or their personal growth story and what they did when their business or progress stagnated or declined. We're also going to explore how the guest balances their life so that it's not 100% consumed by work, as well as the tactics that they use to take care of themselves, both mentally and physically. And we'll end each episode with the guest sharing a motivational tip for our listeners. And we'll also have an additional boost bonus on www.theboostpodcast.com that gives the Boost Squad even more strategic insights, tips and tricks, and resources to accelerate their growth. The format that I just mentioned is really designed to give the Boost Squad a glimpse into a myriad of industries, personal journeys of success, and actionable tactics that they can apply to their own professional and personal lives so that they can thrive and live their best life. And that's why I created the Boost Podcast. I have been so fortunate to be blessed with a career that's both profitable and fulfilling, along with an ability to create balance and take care of my health. But I really wasn't always this way, and my journey to get here was more of a happy accident than an intentional path to success and fulfillment. And so I want to help other people find that best life in a faster, more intentional way than I did. And I think that Boost Podcast can do that. I spent the majority of my career, about 10 years, as a health IT and management consultant for one of the big 4 consulting firms. I was killing it, but not necessarily in a positive way. Even though I became a top performer and carved out my unique brand within a huge firm, I was pretty unhappy. I was working all the time. I was sleeping 4 or 5 hours a night, binge drinking to relieve the stress and anxiety, and I could never really seem to find the time to work out. It took me about 2 years to work up the courage and pull the trigger and walk away from what would have been a really successful long-term career that I was good at. I left my consulting job burnt out and really not sure about what I wanted to do next. So I did something totally different. I took on a role leading business development for a large consumer advocacy organization at a place where people left at 5 p.m. and didn't check their email till the next day, and there was really no rat race to speak of. And that was good for a short period, but after a few years, I started to realize that I wasn't feeling fulfilled. So I started looking for another job, and I soon found that I wasn't inspired by any of the options in the market. And that's really where a light bulb went off for me. And I started to think, why don't I start my own business? And you might be surprised to learn that having my own business was really never a dream of mine. It was never part of my plan. And the decision to start my own business, which is a consulting firm called Mosaic Growth Partners, was really just born out of my frustration with my current options and the sense that it was time to bet on myself and take the chance to go off on my own. Once I made that decision, everything changed for me. It was like something awoke inside of me, and suddenly I had a renewed intellectual curiosity, and I was inspired by working with startups, social enterprises, and other entrepreneurs to help them take their businesses and their visions to the next level. I also had a lot more control over my schedule, and I was able to carve out the type of life that I wanted. And so for me, this meant that I had the flexibility to work when I wanted, exercise when I wanted, and travel where and when I wanted to. And I never knew it while I was working for other people, but I had been craving this freedom to feel fulfilled both intellectually, professionally, and emotionally for a long time. Part of what has propelled me through this journey has been the inspirational books and podcasts from successful entrepreneurs. From studying their stories and extracting actionable insights, I've been motivated to continue to challenge myself and hold myself accountable to being successful, healthy, and happy. And I am just so grateful for the growth I've experienced over the past few years. And I'm beyond thrilled to bring the Boost Squad other inspiring stories of professional and personal growth that are going to spur you to reach your full potential and achieve the career and the life that you deserve. So thank you all for joining me on this journey. If the vision of Boost or my own personal story resonates with you, please go to iTunes and subscribe. Give us a rating and hopefully a 5-star review. And I hope each and every one of you will join the Boost Squad and tune in to episode 2.
Now that you've completed this episode, the next step is to join the Boost Squad for strategic insights, tips, and tricks, as well as exclusive resources designed specifically to accelerate your personal and professional growth. All this and more is waiting for you at theboostpodcast.com.